good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is you are viewing this video. I am Lynetta Shea, and this is Beautifying from the Inside Out. But I do have a title for today's message or video, whatever you want to call it. But before I get into that, I do want to say, if you are still interested in booking my angel course, learning more about the different angels, their rankings, and what they're actually appointed to do, please check out the community board for the flyer there. You can send the info to my email, as well as how to pay for the course is listed there as well. And be sure to state what it is that you may be struggling with at this time, so that I can better serve you with the angels that I present to you. Okay. Calling the hitman on a hitman. My quote of today is going to be, "It is not the color of our skin that makes us different, but the color of our thoughts." So just take a little moment, sit with that, soak that in, and let's move forward. I want to also say that God is not just the God of Christianity, but He is the God of all enduring religions. And I know that in my past two videos, I've kind of maybe come down on Christians a little bit. So I want to clear up something. I don't have anything against Christians, but when people have other ways of life or different belief systems or a different way that they connect with God and the way that they do things, Christians seem to want to kind of pounce on people and judge them. So I want to remind you of the scripture, Matthew 7 verses 1 through 3. "Judge not that ye not be judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with that measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considereth not the beam that is in your own eye?" So I kind of wanted to get that out of the way as well, because something had come to me in a dream, and I know there's going to be someone, a female in particular, that is going to look at this video and they are going to start judging. So right now, before I even get into it, just click off. You don't like me, you don't like my content, that's fine. Just click off. Do not watch to go back and criticize or to talk about me. Just click off. If you don't like someone or you don't like something that someone is doing, just remove yourself from that person and the situation. Now let's jump into it. Okay. Calling the hitman on a hitman. So let's talk about hitman. So of course, a hitman can be someone who actually has some money on your head, out to literally aim the beam, red dot, take your life hitman. But there are also other forms of hitman. There are sabotaging hitmen who, slander your name and tarnish your reputation. There are judicial hitmen who tarnish your record and judge you unlawfully, unethically, and unfairly to put you in a situation that is very damaging to your future. So that is ultimately a hit out on your life, right? Gossip, just in general. When you talk bad about somebody or someone's name, you are putting something out there about their character that literally is going to cause them to take a hit on their life. So I want you to understand that there are different types of hitmen. Your parent can also be like a hitman when they don't love you, when they don't, nurture you in the way that they should nurture you, when they don't stand up for you, when they don't support you. Just different things. that parents can do to ultimately be a hitman on your life, because then you go through life carrying that hurt, that rejection, not feeling that sense of belonging, right? And with that, it's kind of like you're walking around lost, wanting and reaching for something, a love, a connection that you never had. So you have taken a hit. They have deliberately put a hit out on your life by abandoning you, by abusing you, by just kind of ostracizing you, treating you like a Cinderella, the help all the time. These are things that take real life hits on your life, and sometimes I don't think people realize that if the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, then don't be a puppet for the enemy, thinking that you're being a puppet master in someone else's life. Because when someone calls judgment and they call the hitman on the hit that someone else had out for your life, they are in for a very rude awakening, okay? Because nothing or no one could get past the hitman, God himself, the divine source. He gets the last say so. He has the power. He grants it to people when he takes it away. They say the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So please believe that if you're not exercising your power and your authority in the correct manner, you're putting a hit out on someone's life. And ultimately, the hitman is going to come crashing down on you faster than you thought that hit was going to affect someone else's life, their journey, and what their purpose is on this earth. I definitely have been studying the book of Revelation really, really hard. For some odd reason, I've really been drawn to that. This would be considered the year of the dragon. This is year 8. 2024 would be considered year 8, and it's the year of the dragon in other religions, in tarot land, and everything else, right? So my attention was drawn to Revelation chapter 12, the book of Revelation in general. But in chapter 12 specific, it talks about a woman who she was clothed in the sun and she had the moon underneath her feet. She also wore a crown of 7 stars upon her head, but she was pregnant with child, and she was like painting, waiting to deliver her child. And this was in heaven. Also in heaven, there was a red dragon that had 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon the head. That dragon was waiting for that woman's child to be born, because he wanted to devour the child as soon as it was born. So what happened is between the 3rd stars, he like made a divide in the heaven, and it cast them both down to the earth. Now this woman bore a man child, and this man child that she bore was supposed to rule over the nations with an iron rod. So when she actually gave birth to the child, God took the child up and put the child on the throne with him. Now, also casting the woman into the wilderness where she was protected for a period of time. Now here comes Archangel Michael and his angels, and the red dragon and his angels, and they fought a fight. You know for sure the dragon did not win, because again, it's this fight with light and dark, good and evil. And obviously someone who wants to devour a child as soon as it is born is not someone who is good, right? So they fought this fight, Archangel Michael and his angels, and the dragon and his angels, and Archangel Michael and the light angels won, which ultimately cast that dragon into the lands of course we know it was Satan, the devil himself. You can go ahead and read this in Revelation chapter 12 yourself, so you can get more on the story. I'm just kind of giving you like a brief synopsis of what it is that I took in. Also, after they were cast into the earth, the Satan was like, he mad. The dragon is mad now. Now he wants to go after the woman and like wage war on the woman. So the woman was granted 2 wings like an eagle, and she was like cast even further. She was put even further into the wilderness. And the dragon spit a flood out of his mouth. But the earth helped her. The earth helped her, and it swallowed the flood that the dragon threw her way, right? To protect her and to keep her safe. And that's chapter 12. Now let me just read actually a verse from chapter 13, verse 18. It says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666." Now I want to break that down, because people always say like, oh, 666 is the number of the beast. Well, that's kind of like a myth. That is not really what that is. If you read this and you break down what 666 means, so 600 is obvious. It's 600 itself. And then 60 is actually equal to 20. So, and then there's 6. This number actually breaks down to 6,006,006. That's what that number breaks down to. I guess somewhere along the way, somebody just broke it down to 666. And that's why I think it is important to read and obtain knowledge for yourself, so that you gain a clear understanding, rather than to just take what has been said to you by many and what has been taught by many. Because at the end of the day, you never know when somebody is leading you down the wrong path. And if the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, he wants you to believe a lie. He wants you to believe things that are not true. But until you take the time to find truth and educate yourself, you are a victim of the assassin who came to kill you. Now, when we go deeper into the book of Revelation, it also talks about God is like really angry now. It's just like too much going on, and he's angry. He's had to cast angels out of heaven. And there were some angels who got caught. He we're casting angels out of the heaven, and he put like a seal on the gates of heaven. And then there was like a seal for the earth, but then there's an in-between. So some angels got caught in the in-between, and they're like, wait, what about me? Hold on, wait a minute. So there is an in-between. And if you read further to gain an understanding, you realize that in the in-between, that is where you get your gods and your goddesses and your mystics and your fairies. Because at the end of the day, God is unsure about those souls. He was unable to determine at that time if they were light or dark. So he just stuck them in the in-between. That is very important for me, because I had a personal encounter with a lady in the year 2022. And I was in a horrible relationship. If you guys go and watch 2 videos back, it'll kind of tell you all about that. Or even my last video kind of touches a little bit on some of my experiences there. But I think that it is important for me to share my personal life, because that is where the testimony actually comes from. It's not just me reading the Bible or doing research. It is my personal encounters with God, my personal experiences with angels, my personal experiences with mystics and gods and goddesses. This is a real thing. So in 2022, This was in May. I remember distinctly because it was around my brother's passing. I was in a horrible relationship, and the guy that I was with, we would argue a lot. And we were staying at this hotel, though, for a few months. Probably about 2.5 months. We stayed at the Best Western off of 23. So you can actually look this up, because this woman that I encountered, she actually died in that hotel. And if you are an investigator or detective or something like that who watches my videos, you can probably go and ask them for the video footage of me talking to this white Caucasian woman outside of the premises on video. So this woman, I had an encounter with her. We spoke on 3 different occasions. The first occasion that we spoke, she was like, you need to clear your energy. And I was looking at her like, yeah, whatever. And she looked at my ex and was like, you have great energy. And I'm just irritated because I'm like, he is just so evil. It stresses me out. And this is like what I'm thinking, right? Like, he does the most horrible things. And you're sitting here saying that this person has good energy, but whatever, you know, people's perception is their perception. However, you have to understand that this is where I came into knowing that the way that I reacted to things and the way that people treated me played a big role in how I was perceived to people on the outside looking in. So although I may have been being wrong, but my reaction to what was happening to me, if you're on the outside looking in, and you might be the person might be a victim, but they're the one, like, you know, yelling or just upset, it kind of makes them look crazy, right? And the person who's the actual victimizer, they're like so calm and smiling, so it kind of makes them look like the good guy when really they're just the sly guy getting over, and, you know, having people look at them for something that they're really not. They have a mask on, they're putting on this face, and then here you are in all of your authenticity, acting out of emotion, but you're being perceived in a negative light. So the next time that I saw this woman, it was in the nighttime, and I was outside, and I was just looking at the moon, and I was crying, and I was talking to the moon. She came over, and she's like, you're into Wicca, aren't you? No, she was like, you practice Wicca. And I was like, no. That was the first time I ever heard that term. So I had no idea what she was talking about. She goes, she looked at me, and I'm like, it's like, no, you don't. But you hold ancient knowledge and wisdom. That's interesting. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, let me take you to the lagoon so I can cleanse your energy. And I was looking at her like, lady, absolutely not, right? Now, she's an older Caucasian woman. I'm like, no, I'm okay, I'm good. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you know, I'm just really sad about my brother, and, you know, I have to go to work during the day, and just kind of hold things together. So I'm trying to really push through. And she was like, your brother is really trying to talk to you. He has a message for you. He's really trying to get something through to you, right? Like, okay, still looking at her like she's some weird old lady. Now, my third encounter with her, she goes and says to me, are you good or evil? And I was like, I'm good. She was like, no. I mean, are you light? Are you of the light, or are you on the dark side? I was like, I'm of the light. What do you mean? Like, why are you even asking me that? I'm looking at her like she's weird. Like, why? What is wrong with her? Like, what have I done, or how have I acted to this lady for her to even ask me that? And she goes, well, you need to let them know that. She looked up at the sky. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I'm gonna die soon. And I'm going to go to the in-between again, and I'm going to be there for 3,000 years, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm looking for somebody who is going to do right with my gifts, because if I can hand my gifts off to somebody, then I won't have to come back here again. I am totally looking at her like she is, in fact, one of the most weird, insane mental patients that I have ever met, because she keeps coming at me with these conversations and this verbiage and just these stories that I like have absolutely no knowledge of. And I'm like, what? She was like, if you're of the light and if you're good, you need to let them know that. And you need to make it very clear that you are of the light. So how you act and how you get upset, you need to change that. You need to act like a light being. And I was like, okay, but I received that in the best way that I could. Because again, here I am being, wronged and antagonized and hurt so bad and heartbroken, and I'm just like crying and yelling and stuff all the time. And I understood what she was saying, like from the outside looking in, that's not a good look. I look crazy. I look, like I might have some mental health issues or some emotional, problems. Maybe I needed therapy or something, somebody to talk to, because I just couldn't keep it together emotionally, because I'm dealing with death, I'm dealing with a cheater, we're living at this hotel, just so many things going on with my finances being drained, because I'm funding all of this, right? While I'm trying to build a business and a legacy, and I'm unable to do that because my finances are being drained and I'm being pulled in so many different directions. But again, that was that hitman who had the attack out on my life. But God kept sending me these light beings down to earth to help me, to guide me, to assist me, and make sure that I was going the right way, that I stopped going the wrong way. I was going the wrong way. He did whatever he could, because that's how much he loved me, to get me on the right path that I was supposed to go. And the reason why I said that, the reason why I told you guys the location, the Best Western off of 23, it was in May, late May of 2022, early June, because that woman, after I had that conversation with her and she told me I'm going to die soon, literally 2 days later, she died. She died. It threw me for a whole entire loop. I was like, oh my God, she just told me that she was going to die and that she was going to be in the in-between, and she did not want to come back here. Now, mind you, I'm like the in-between. I had no idea about that. But now, again, reflecting back to the book of Revelation, and when God becomes furious and he decides that he doesn't know who to trust, who's on his side, or who's on the side of the devil, the red dragon, right? So he just shut everything off. Y'all gotta go down here. Y'all gotta go. Everybody stand up here. I'm unsure about y'all, so y'all stuck right here. I'm not gonna say that y'all good or y'all bad. I'm just not sure. Maybe y'all need to prove yourself a little bit more. So you stuck right here. So that was really big to me, because I felt like no one was listening to me. No one was seeing what was going on. No one was seeing what was taking place. The abuse and the narcissism that I was experiencing. I was, coming off as a damsel in distress and as a victim. But he kept sending me people here in the flesh to make sure that I got on the right path. And I hate to get emotional, but that is an unconditional love that is unmatched. When someone is out to destroy you, but he loves you so much that he bring flesh in human form down to the earth to make sure that you get on your divine path, on the purpose that he has for you. That's some unconditional love. That's some special stuff right there. Ain't no man can ever do that for you. Ain't no woman can ever do that for you. I don't care, your husband, your wife, your mother, your kids, nothing. Because at any moment, anybody can flip and change on you. But he has an unconditional love that when nobody is on your side, he's still gonna ride for you. When you decide to go into covenant with God, when you decide to make that pact with him, when you decide to say, I'm riding with you, he don't care who is against you. The whole world could be against you, but if he with you, oh, you gonna succeed. He gonna make sure of it. He gonna move mountains for you. He's going to allow the earth to swallow up the floods that was made to drown you, so that you're safe, so that you fulfill the purpose that he has for your life. That's real. That's true. Like, that is so divine. Who do you know who can do that for you? Who can you call on when you have nobody else, when everybody in this world is against you, right? When you got a real person after you, when you got money on your head, okay? When people really trying to take your life, when people really slander your character out here, they ruin your reputation out here. But when he say, come with me, ride with me, I promise you, I will keep you safe. I will keep you out of harm's way. Y'all know Psalms 91, where it say, 10,000 might come, but none gonna touch you. They're gonna fall right by your side. That's powerful. That is powerful. So no matter what anyone does to try to tarnish your name, to try to take your life, no matter how many rituals is performed, no how much poison is put in your food, no matter how much slander is thrown on your name, when he say that's mine, oh, he mean that's mine. When the hitman on his way to you, but he get into a car accident, wheels fall off, whatever happened, oh, he thinking he wanted you. They plotting against you, and then they start fighting amongst each other because they can't get it together. Why? Because no weapon form will prosper at all, period. So I'm going to continue to share my life experiences with you guys. I'm going to continue to share the gospel of the Bible. I'm also going to continue to share other knowledge that I have. Speaking of that, also in the book of Revelation, if you keep going on and reading the story, which I encourage you to read it, it's actually a really short book. It is not as long as the others. You could get through it in one day, but if you really want to fully understand it, obviously it's going to take you a little bit more time to get through it. You can read through it in one day like I did initially, but then I just went back and started to break things down. So there's a mention of an angel named Sophia. Now, I'm a person who I am not just about Christianity. I find that there is belief in all religions, and anybody who is, speaks about God and source and divine. And I'm going to keep saying it. It is because where people come from, how they grow up, the traditions and the religions that are practiced across the world. So you can't just shun somebody for not you know, being a Christian, or, you know, but I feel like it's a lot of fighting also in division with the religions, because you got your Catholics and you got your Baptists and you got your Christians and you got your non-denominations and you got your Muslims and you got your Buddhists, and they be fighting each other over, is the Quran right, is the Bible right, is the Hindu and Greek, all of that. So it's just like a lot of division going on, where ultimately it's one goal, is to bring souls to God. And because of things that are taught around the world in various ways, I have some Nigerians that I know, they will tell you off the drip, my God has no name. Because they don't want to get caught up in the man-made teachings, because then when you start getting into some of the names, then you start to actually discover real people, individuals who were not Christ-like. So when we refer to him in the different names, you know, God, Lord, you know, Elohim, Jehovah Jireh, all these different things, in certain religions, you know, they have these stories about people, men and women who walked the earth that had these names, and they may have not been so good people. So people just have like their different, you know, their different ways of thinking. And I feel that it's all just because of where you come from, your culture, where you are actually placed in the world as far as geographical location. It's just going to be a difference, but ultimately it's just the one source, the one God, the one divine. So I think that is important to not get so caught up on, you know, this group is saying this or this group is saying that. I think we should all just kind of come together and say, hey, we just all want to be more like the Creator, you know, himself. We all want to be more like him. We all want to follow in the light and what he wanted us to do, and bring souls to him for good. So I think that is important. I said that to say because in the book of Revelation, there is a mention of an angel named Sophia. But also, I read various different things. I just love to educate myself about different religions and different walks of life as well. I just like to educate myself so that I'm well-rounded. So that when I do give you guys these videos, it's not just for one specific group. It is for all. So I have read this book before called God is Magic. And I dive into this. Now, it talks about the different gods and goddesses in this. Well, this is a goddess book, so it's specifically for like goddesses, right? But I noticed that my reading in the Bible and, you know, my research and on angels and things like that, a lot of these goddesses have angel names, and they're mentioned in this book as angels, but they're referred to as goddesses for the purpose of this. So it was, you know, very enlightening to me to read about the angel Sophia, who actually gets caught in the in-between. She was an angel. She's an angel, but she got caught in the in-between. Why? Because God didn't know. He shut the gates. Again, he's like, hey, listen, you've been looking good, but I don't know if you're good. You ain't make it in time enough. I don't know where you was at, what you was doing, but the door is closed now, so I'm gonna just leave you stuck right here for a minute. So she's also mentioned in here as a goddess and an angel. Sophia, the goddess angel, is the mother of faith, hope, and charity. The best way to honor this goddess and angel is to compliment her children, make a charitable gift with her in faith and others, to do good works, and for the hope it inspires. So that was like so big for me to read that, because it was really no different from what was being said in the Bible. It just was translated differently, because Sophia was actually an angel that was sent to watch over that woman who God had took her son up to be on the throne when that fight broke out. So again, you go ahead and read the book of Revelation yourself so you can know that I came with receipts. Okay, you can fact check me. You can fact check me on these things. So I think that is really big and important. But the whole point of this is to say that stand strong. Take your power back. Take your energy back. Take the time to sit in solitude by yourself, for yourself, to figure out what side are you on. You know, the Bible also talks about being lukewarm. So you need to figure out what side of the tracks are you on, because the biggest thing with my encounter with that lady was God was telling me, you 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and I need to know where you at, because I don't want you to be stuck in the in-between, or me to have to keep you cast down on the earth or to the pits of hell, which is earth. I feel like when I come back. So you need to make a solid decision and not have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But I'm going to guarantee you this. If you choose to ride with me, there is nothing or no one who is going to be able to touch you. There's no one who's going to be able to put anything out on your life that I can't handle and I can't clear up. Because if the hitman come for you and you ride with me, please believe that I'm coming for the hitman that came for you. Because that's what my love is like. It's unconditional. He gonna ride with you till the wheels fall off. And he will send people. He will send songs. He will send numbers. If if you're someone who is into the signs and synchronicities, you gotta pay attention out here, because God tries to get your attention in various ways. Had a little phone malfunction, it died, but I'm back. But as I was saying, like, yes, God really does try to get your attention in different ways, and that is because what may, catch someone's attention might not catch another person's attention. So he's like coming at you in various different ways. But the one thing that I had to understand on my journey is that it was a journey of healing. It was a journey of self-love. It is a journey of you getting by yourself to do the work, to heal those old wounds, to stop trying to be so attached to people and be more attached to him, to stop trying to fit into the norms, societal norms, being superficial, because none of that matters when it comes to him. He want to know about your heart. He want to know how you treat people. He don't care if you sitting on a pulpit or you singing in a choir, but if you still gossiping about such and such, you still got 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out. He don't care about that. You got to be true to yourself first. Because you can lie to all your friends and all your little family members and your group members, but he see through your mask. You coming at him like, oh God, I'm asking for this. And sometimes you wouldn't understand. You don't know why you're not getting what you pray for. And that's because look how you treating other people. You think you're going to get blessed by treating people that way? And then let's not be so, how can I word this? Just be mindful of being jealous of, or looking at other people like, oh, well, why they got this, and, I see the wrong that they do. Or they sell drugs and they got everything. Okay, but look at how fast they getting it. And then you see what happens to them in a certain amount of time. And sometimes to you on the outside looking in, you like, okay, yeah, but they've been selling drugs for years, or they've been, scamming for years and doing this and that, and it still seems like they're on top, because you need to start worrying about other people. Because you don't know what is really going on inside of their home. You don't know what's really going on inside of their mental state. You don't know what's really taking place in their heart. You don't know what side they're on. Because the dragon, the devil, will make you feel like you're a winner too. He gotta hold up some of his promises. He gotta hold up some of his end of the bargain to make you feel like you still want to ride on his side. But I'm going to tell you, when it get down to the get down, he going to leave you hanging high and dry. Going to be like, I did this for you, where you at? He going to be like, I didn't tell you to do that. That was on you. I don't got nothing to do with that. My hands is clean. But he the one who put the bug in your ear to do the dirty work. Now when judgment come, he don't want no part. And you sitting there to face it all by yourself. But when you walk with God, it don't matter if you walking alone by yourself. He gonna be right there with you. He gonna send angels. He gonna send the mystics and the goddesses and all of that. Because that's how much he loves you, and that's how much he will never leave you. He will never forsake you. He's going to always be there for you, no matter who is not. But again, I had to heal myself. I had to get by myself to allow him to heal me and to work with me. Yeah, I've been in therapy before. At some point, I just felt like I was in there. Like, I was just kind of like talking. No, every therapist isn't like this. I just think I didn't have a good therapist. Because by the time I ended the therapy sessions, I was going for like 3 months. And by the time I ended the therapy sessions, I really came out of there like, you know what? It just kind of felt good to say it out loud. Because literally once I was saying everything out loud, being made to feel like I was getting help, I was really helping myself. Now that's not going to be for every therapist. I understand some people really do need therapy because they don't know where to start. You know, but make sure that you have a good therapist. Because at some point I felt like, shoot, she was looking forward to the sessions because I was giving her therapy. And, you know, she was getting a therapy from me. I just was like, okay, I'm done with this. She didn't even want to end. She's like, well, why? I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of this. This is kind of like pointless for me, right? But that's because everything I needed was already inside of me. I just needed to believe in myself. I just needed to get closer with me, with God. I just needed to believe that I didn't need a man. I didn't need a friend. I didn't need a mama. I didn't need a family member because they had all forsaken me anyways. But when I started to fully walk with him, both feet in the door with him, he was like, I got you. And then sometimes you'll run into tests and trials in your life. And I had to understand that things are not happening to me. They're happening for me, right? So the fact that I've recently went into isolation, you know, it's not because of anything that happened to me. It's because God was doing something for me. I was sent here. I was put here to fulfill a purpose. His plan for my life. Not what somebody else had for me. Not what the hitman wanted for me. Not what a hitman wanted for me. But what the hitman wanted for me was a hit of abundance. A hit of prosperity. A hit of joy. A hit of happiness. Not a hit of death. A hit of pain. A hit of incarceration. A hit of, you know, mental lethargy. None of that. None of that was in his plan or his purpose for me. But it took for me to separate myself from the outside world to get to where I am right now. And to have that mental clarity. To have the courage. To have the faith. So, I want to do something that I've never done before. But I just, if you would allow to join with me in a prayer. I want to pray for you. I want you to pray with me. Dear God, I humbly come to you and everyone who may come across or view this video. I ask that you give them the mental clarity, the courage to step out with you on faith wholeheartedly and know that with you anything is possible, any obstacle could be overcome. Allow them to see that no matter who is against them, that you would always be for them. Allow them to understand that they can lay all of their burdens down with you. They can cry with you. There's no judgment with you. You hear their cries, you hear their prayers, and you will answer accordingly. I ask that you bless them in mysterious ways for even coming to you. I ask that you give them the comfort and the love that they seek in human beings, and that they feel that divinely, that they feel that supernaturally, that they feel that miraculously through you, that they sleep easy at night knowing that you have their best interests at heart, that you are the keeper of all secrets, that you are the unfolder of all mysteries, and that with you all things will be done in divine timing. That faith and hope and trust in you is all that they need to have. I thank you in advance for bringing the collective I thank you in advance for all these things. And I ask that you bless every soul, every person who comes across this video. Whether they want to be blessed or not, I ask that you touch them in a way that makes them see you are who you say you are, and you come through the way that you want to come through every religion and every walk of life. No matter who they are, no matter where they are, they can find comfort in you. I thank you for all of these things, humbly and gracefully, your daughter. Amen. I hope that you guys receive that, and that you just go throughout the rest of your week, that you just carry out this month of May knowing that the flowers are going to bloom for you if you just walk with him, if you just talk with him, if you just step in faith, not out on faith. I want you to step in faith with him, both feet, wholeheartedly, and know that he can do anything, he can do all things, and that whatever you're going through, he can turn it around for you. This has been Beautifying from the Inside Out with Lynetta Shay. I hope that you receive it and that you are blessed as always. I'll see you guys next time.